Welcome back to True Story Animations Part 4. Today we'll be looking at I Kissed the Wrong Guy and Woke Up Like This. I know it's been a while since we did True Story Animations, but some pretty questionable things happened in this video, so you might just want to watch this till the end. I hope you guys enjoy. If you're new here, make sure you subscribe, turn on post notifications if you like this type of stuff. And yeah, let's get started. That's a pretty paying intro.
Hi, my name is Amelia.
Hi,
I'm
Amelia.
21, and I'm allergic to soap. I didn't.
Wait. We have to confirm this. We have to get to the bottom of this. Oh, it turns out that people can actually be allergic to soap.
That's actually pretty weird.
Always have this strange allergy. Like many people with allergies, I didn't develop it until later. I started having reactions when I was around 10 or 11. My mom had
That's
asked me
kinda
to
sad.
do the dishes, which I hated doing the most.
Who
Halfway
obviously
through the
doesn't
pile of
hate
dirty
doing dishes.
My hands and arms started itching uncontrollably, all the way up to my elbows. Before I continue with my story, make sure to subscribe.
Make sure
to
to
our
subscribe,
channel, or
like
your
this
crush
video.
will embarrass you in front of everyone. I told
She
my
said
mom,
it.
but
You know
she
what's
thought I was
you
just
know what to do.
making
You
it
already
up
know
to
what to
get
do.
out of doing the dishes. Boy, did she feel bad. When I finished the dishes, my hands and arms were entirely bright red and hot to the touch. My mom rushed me to the emergency room, where they took me immediately at the sight of how severe my reaction was. The doctor asked me if I had been exposed to anything new, and my mom, confused, answered it was the same dish soap she always bought.
Maybe
He
it's
gave me
some
a
chemical
prescription for a
inside the
cream
dish
would
soap
help
that
clear
she
up the
always buys
reaction and stop
that
the
may have
itching.
given her the
He said to
reaction.
pay close attention
Obviously.
to the products I used on my skin and any reactions I might have for the next few weeks. It's certainly
Okay, so what I'm thinking is that there was a chemical inside the dish soap that she's always using that might have given her a reaction, whatever, a chemical reaction or allergic reaction to that chemical. But she's been using it for a while now, which means it basically accumulated over time. You get what I'm saying? You know what? Let's just watch.
didn't take that long to figure it out, though. After having the same scary reaction after my morning showers, each time I washed my hands after using the bathroom and before I ate, and when I did the dishes, even when I was using different soaps. When my mom and I went back to the doctor for a follow-up appointment, he agreed. I was clearly allergic to soap. Later, we learned it wasn't all soap, thankfully. But since we didn't know what chemical in particular...
Wait, I don't know if it's just me who's realizing it, but she said he. This is clearly a woman. As in, this is clearly a woman. Can we get our gender straight? My story animated. Oh, what's wrong with you guys?
in common soaps was causing my problem, I had to switch to all-natural soaps that were chemical-free. As I got older, my allergy got worse. I couldn't touch anyone who had recently used soaps with chemicals or who had any residue of it on their hands. It was a nightmare. School was already hard enough. Dating was going to be impossible. I went from
That's
just
sad.
being the weird girl carrying her own soap with her everywhere to being the freak that wore gloves and long sleeves all the time. When I went on my first date, I wore my gloves and long sleeves, feeling like a freak. But my date
No, you
didn't
shouldn't
seem
feel
to
like
care.
that.
Either that, or he pretended not to notice. He planned the whole thing. He took me to the movies, which was such a relief, as no
This
one
guy
could stare
seems
at me.
pretty
He
nice.
bought
If
us
he's a fake
popcorn,
friend, I
candy, and
swear I'm gonna
soda,
be
letting
so
me choose all the
angry at
flavors.
him.
I had never felt so special. We saw a romantic comedy, and I was having the time of my life. About halfway through the movie, he leaned in to kiss me. My heart started pounding hard with...
Alright, let's play a game, right? So, either A, he either had soap on his lips because, you know, people just apparently have soap on his lips. Or B, he has soap on his lips, she'll kiss him, she might have an allergic reaction, she'll pass out, she'll find herself in the ER. A or B? Let's see your answer. I'm giving you time to comment down below. Come on. It's not that hard.
with excitement. That was short-lived, unfortunately, because the second he kissed me, my face and throat started swelling up. I couldn't breathe, and
Congratulations, your answer was B. If you thought B, then like your comment right now and subscribe. Yeah.
everything started to go dark. The last thing I heard was my date crying out for help in the movie theater. I woke up a little later in an ambulance after they had given me epinephrine, a medicine used to treat severe allergic reactions. The EMTs in the ambulance told me that I was lucky to be alive. They said I had gone into anaphylactic shock and that I needed to be more careful.
What are
to
all
avoid
these
my
words?
allergens.
Anaphylactic
I
shock,
couldn't believe
epinephrine.
it. Nothing like this had ever happened to me before. My head was filled with a million questions. What happened to my date? Was he freaking out? Did he think
Of
he
course
killed
he'd be
me?
freaking
What was
out.
going to happen to me? How was I...
How would you feel if you kissed someone and they passed out? You thought you'd kill them because, you know, they're allergic to soap, but they didn't really tell you that. How would you be? I'd be pretty scared, really.
Possibly going to live my life if this was my new reality. I went home from the hospital later that night with a prescription for EpiPens. The doctor told me to make sure I had at least 2 on me at all times, that it could
What's
save
an
my life.
EpiPen?
My mom requested an extra set of EpiPens given the severity of my
That seems more of demanding than requesting, if you ask me.
condition, and our insurance approved it. I couldn't believe that I'd have to carry these things and rely on my ability or someone in my vicinity's ability to stab me with them to save my life. After about a month, the shock of my worsening allergy wore off and it became my new normal. I went back to school every day wearing my proper protection and carrying my EpiPens, for which there were extra backups stored in the nurse's office. The rest of high school was relatively smooth sailing for me. I only had to use an EpiPen twice in the whole 3 years I had left. Going to
Nice.
college has been a bit different for me, and it's taken a lot of adjustment. Suddenly, I was responsible for purchasing all my products. I didn't have my mom around to double check all the
It's been a good time, soldier. You have to take care of yourself now.
ingredients for me. She tried to teach me what to look for, but it got so complicated. I kept forgetting.
Products not
She
to die.
eventually just made me a
Obviously.
list of what products I should buy, and I felt hopeless. I struggled to even find those in stores. Every time I shopped, I had to spend the entire time on the phone with my mom. I tried dating again in college, and it was certainly difficult. I wanted to try something like the school gatherings or speed dating, but I don't exactly look very approachable with all my skin covered. Finally, I confided in my roommate Ellie, and she had a ton of helpful suggestions for
Ellie
me.
seems
We
like a
talked
nice
about
person
it
to
all
me.
night and have since been really close friends. Her first suggestion, since it was winter at the time, was to try going to a football game with her. She said she would go tailgating before, so there were plenty of opportunities to meet people, and everything was outside. So everyone was wearing long sleeves, gloves, and scarves. I'd fit right in. I thought
It'd be
this was
so
the
cold doing
best
that
idea.
football match.
I couldn't wait until that Friday's
Football,
football
rugby,
game.
whatever
Ellie
you
said
say. I
she
say
would help me
football
pick out the cutest
is the one
outfit
that you use
and
with your
even
feet.
offered to let me
But
borrow.
we gotta get this straight. Football, use your foot. That's why I call it football. Rugby, basically carrying the ball. I don't know why you call it football games because football use it with your feet. Soccer people, what is wrong with you? It's called football, not soccer. Okay, football. Okay, football. And rugby, hold with your hands. You run till you get to the other side of the field. Okay, that's rugby. There's meanings for the words football and rugby. Okay, get that straight. Okay.
Of her team gear. I had to turn her down though because I didn't know what was in her detergent. When Friday finally came, we both skipped our morning classes and spent the whole morning getting ready. Ellie said that tailgating could start as early as 9 in the morning. But if we went at around noon, we'd be sure to arrive when everything was in full swing. She showed me videos online to show me
How
how
to be
fix my
pretty.
hair and makeup, so she didn't have to risk touching me. She helped me pick out the perfect outfit and told me the necessary items I'd want to bring, reminding me to grab my soap or hand sanitizer, as we'd be there a long time, so I'd likely have to use the bathroom. When we got to
Obviously.
the parking lot, I saw more trucks than I've ever seen in my life in one place. There were tents, grills, and people everywhere, and not a soul stared at me for my long sleeves and gloves. Ellie took me over to the tent with her friends. They had a grill and more food than I could have imagined being brought to a parking lot. She introduced me to a cute guy named John. He and I really hit it off. and
Hey,
spent
John
all
seemed like
of
a
the
pretty
time
nice
leading
guy.
up to the game together. He asked me to sit with him during the game, and Ellie said she didn't mind. I couldn't believe my luck. I was worried he might try to kiss me though, but I secretly wanted him to. About halfway through the game, I started to get really cold. He offered to snuggle me to keep me warm. I wanted it so badly and racked my brain with a way I could. Finally, it hit me. I put my scarf up between my coat and my hat, which was already covering the entirety of my ears. I held my breath as I leaned into the invitation, not 100% sure if my idea would work. But it did. I was fine. John and I dated for a little longer, but when he found out about my allergy, he said it was too much. He didn't want to use a specific type of soap or spend his time worrying about whether or not he might kill me.
Oh,
He said
John.
it was
Oh,
too much
John,
responsibility and didn't
What
want to
is
be
wrong with you,
liable.
John?
I understood, but it hurt me deeply. Ellie said that I shouldn't worry about it. If that was the way he felt, he didn't deserve me, and I
He
was
does
better
not
off without
deserve
him.
you. He
But
deserves so
I
much
had
better.
seen enough romantic comedies to know that that's just what people say when you're dumped. Ellie's next suggestion was to try a dating app. She said I could even add a specification about not minding coping with allergies. I had
So
no
it's
idea
basically
you could
Tinder.
be
Swipe right
specific
if you
about
like
such
me.
a
Swipe
thing on
left
an
if you
app
don't.
like that. I decided to give it a shot. She helped me get my profile together and gave me tips for ways to sell myself and attract the right type of person to my profile. I received my first message from a guy named Eric, and we planned a date. This time, I decided to lead with my allergy. If he couldn't deal with it, I didn't need to waste any more of my time with him.
That's right,
Much
Derek.
to my
What's wrong with you?
surprise, Eric didn't mind at all. He quickly replied,
Is it
"That's
Derek or
terrible.
Eric?
Do I need to switch my soaps or detergents before we meet up?" I couldn't believe it. I was so glad Ellie had this terrific idea. I let Eric know my
Oh,
specifications,
it's Eric, not Derek.
and he promised to take
I swear she
extra
said
special
Derek.
care the day of our date. About 2 hours before my date, Eric sent me an urgent message. I was so scared he was canceling, but he wasn't. "I'm worried about your allergy, and I want to make sure you're completely comfortable. Would you rather change our meetup location to somewhere you feel is safer for you?"
Oh,
I
Eric
couldn't
is so
believe what I
nice.
just read. What a terrific guy. I quickly responded that that was such a considerate thought and invited him over to my room. I informed Ellie so she could be close by in case anything went wrong. After all, I was meeting someone I had met online for the first time. That's pretty risky. Ellie helped me get
Of
ready
course it's pretty
and helped
risky.
to create our room look date ready. We looked online for some fun suggestions and created the perfect scene. We made a fort out of our sheets, put our mattresses on the floor with tons of pillows, covered in blankets, all of course washed with my special detergent, and set up Netflix on the TV. Before she
Nice.
left, Ellie had the terrific idea of hanging her string lights around the room for some nice ambiance. "And remember," Ellie said, "if you need anything or anything goes wrong, I'm just down the hall in the common room." Eric arrived right on time, and he looked even more handsome than the photo he sent me. He had brought me flowers and cookies. We ordered pizza and watched Netflix for the next 3 hours. At 11 o'clock, Ellie came back in and woke
I really hope Eric is a good guy because if Eric does anything to her, I'm gonna be so mad at him.
us up. We had fallen asleep. It was the perfect night, and I was pretty sure that I was already falling in love. That night, Ellie and I talked about the date until 2 or 3 in the morning. I was so excited, and she was so happy for me. The next morning, I woke up to a text from Eric. "Had a great time last night. Let's do it again soon. You free
Last
tomorrow?"
night.
Smiley face. Ellie and I squealed with excitement after we read it. I asked him what he had in mind, and he offered to make me a full dinner and bring it to my dorm, so
Oh
I
my
could still
god,
be safe.
Eric.
Ellie and I spent the
Eric is
rest of
top
the day
tier.
shopping
He's
to
top
find
tier,
me
guys.
the
Top tier.
perfect outfit. I was so happy and excited to see Eric again. Ellie recommended I choose something that looked cute while also being comfortable, since we'd likely be sitting on the floor again. We picked out some cute floral leggings and a low-cut, flowy top, and Ellie made some recommendations for how I should wear my hair and makeup. Ellie offered to set up the room for me while I got ready, which really helped me out. While I fixed my hair, though, I received a text that shocked me. "Amelia, what you doing tonight?" John had texted. "What is that, loser
John, what do you want,
Ellie asked
John?
when I told her
Jeez.
who had texted.
Jeez,
I
John.
showed her the message. "I'll handle this,"
That's
Ellie
right,
said, and
John.
she snapped the
We don't
phone
like
from
you
my
no
hand.
more.
She furiously typed as I waited, impatiently. Finally, she handed me back my phone. I looked to see what she had typed. "Not interested, leave me alone, loser."
Hey,
and
John,
sent
that's
it.
right, John.
"What?
We
do
don't
you
need
care?"
you no more,
she asked when I
John.
confronted her about it.
John.
"I'm not going to talk to him again. Look how great a guy you've got now. You don't need
I know
him."
you have Eric.
I
You don't need
realized pretty
John.
quickly that she was right. He
That
did
crackhead.
deserve that rude response. And what did I care after all? I didn't want to see him ever again. Ellie went to a friend's room this time while Eric was over, since we knew we could trust him. He showed up with a 3-course meal he'd cooked for us and put it in containers. It was the most delicious pasta I had ever had. We spent the night
Pasta,
talking,
okay.
playing card
Yeah,
games,
pasta. It's not a bad
talking.
meal. Pasta is a
Towards the
pretty
end
nice
of the
meal.
day,
to eat.
someone knocked
You
on
know
the
what I'm
door.
saying?
I
No?
couldn't imagine who it could possibly be. I opened the door to find John on the other side.
Oh,
I couldn't
John, what's wrong with
believe
you?
my eyes.
John.
How did he find me? He had never been here
Gee,
before.
John, what
He
is
got
wrong
angry
with
when
you?
he saw Eric
John.
behind me and started yelling and acting crazy. Eric looked at me for answers. After seeing the shock and horror on my face, he leapt into action. He insisted that John should leave.
That's right,
Or
John.
he would make
Get out,
him leave.
John.
They yelled at each other for a few minutes, but after threatening to call the police, John left. I hugged Eric and thanked him.
Aw.
And I knew that finally I have someone who cares about me and loves me despite having a weird allergy.
Oh, I love that. I love that story so much. I hope you guys enjoyed that video. Click here if you want to see more true story animations, and click here if you want to see a video specifically catered to you by the YouTube algorithm with love. Very fancy. Hope you guys enjoyed that video. I love you guys, and I'll see you guys in the next video.